We're back.
We're live. We're here. We did a quick turnaround.
Go.
Yeah. So, every once in a while I want to play music. Like I used to do this intro that had music and stuffs. And then I realized for the recordings later, it was annoying because people had to okay, we don't need that. And they would fast forward. But who doesn't want to hear Susan just, going freestyle with some do-do-do-do?
Yeah, who doesn't want to hear that?
Totes. Okay, so you guys, this is Happy Businessing with Suz. This is our second segment. And I have on my very good friend and super duper smart person, Dr. Kristine Medyanik. Kristine,
hey guys.
Go ahead and introduce yourself for a sec.
Yeah, so I am an organizational psychologist, which is kind of a mouthful. People go, oh, so can you organize my closet? And I go, no, that's not really what we do. Organizational psychology focuses on leadership, motivation, change management, and some of those kinds of things. And so that's what I do for businesses is help develop leadership characteristics in those spaces.
That was a lot of words.
I know. You said quickly.
I always thought it was so funny. So when Kristine completed her doctorate and we had an amazing party to celebrate that massive milestone in her career, she was saying that she told someone that she was an organizational psychologist and legit, they were like, so do we work through my messy closet issues? No, there's a disconnect. So organizational psychology is all about leadership, change management, how people interact with the things being thrown at them in organizations, and understanding what is, but also leveraging tools where you can get the most out of your team. Did I say that right?
Yeah, and really helping people capitalize on their strengths, right?
Yeah.
Recognizing your own strengths.
Yes.
Capitalizing on somebody else's strengths.
Yeah.
Somebody posted in a dialogue a couple of days ago about, have you ever had to demote somebody? And you jumped in with such a good conversation piece about, it's not really about demoting. It's about getting people into the right seat.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
That's what the focus should be. And if we made a mistake in the hiring process and we didn't know what we were hiring for, and you do this with small businesses a lot, right?
Yes.
Build the culture early, be intentional about the seats that you're going to fill.
Yep.
I see this happen a lot with small businesses where they're like, now I'm ready for a team, but this is the crap I hate. So that's what I'll hire for.
Yeah.
And we have to be more intentional when we're doing job design than the shit I hate. Right? That's not a job description.
Yeah. But I see this, when you're a micro business or just starting out, you're not actually doing employees quite yet. And so you're relying on professional service providers, right? And even that needs to have your culture and making sure it's the right fit and understanding that sometimes those are also humans, right? And they come to you as whole people and they're not perfect, for the love of God. So I have found that I go relationship first in these things. And, when a vendor that I trust and maybe has done an excellent job on XYZ for this many years, but maybe they're not so good at ABC, I don't then just fire them. I work with that and we figure out, okay, look, this isn't your strength. That's okay. How do we supplement? How do we fulfill this piece, this task, this type of work that is not your strength? And if you come from that, it's not about demoting and it's not about firing. It's about literally just problem solving to get, those seats filled in the right way, whether it's an employee or whether it's your service providers out there. So no person's perfect. So, all right, we got Tish saying hi. Thank you, Tish. Hello. Thanks for watching, you guys. All right, so Kristine, Dr. K, you are doing a talk on LinkedIn.
I am talking about leading in crisis, NPOs, that's nonprofit organizations to the rescue. It's 30 minutes tomorrow morning Pacific time. You guys might be coming in at lunchtime if you're out on the East Coast. So grab coffee or grab your lunch and join us. But leadership in crisis is a really important topic right now. I was able to watch your guys' earlier show, and you guys were talking about some ADA stuff and what's happening mid post pandemic, wherever we're at right now.
Yeah.
A lot is changing in our organizational structures. You and I have mentioned it before. We are in the midst of a workplace revolution.
Yeah, we are.
And leadership is going to need some additional tools to really dial in some emotional intelligence, some of those soft skills that maybe we've struggled with over the last 20 months because we're all in crisis. So we're gonna calibrate some of that together tomorrow in that talk, and I'm really excited to jump in and have that conversation. And then next week I'm launching a boot camp, but registration closes tomorrow. So if people are thinking about doing that, they should jump in pretty soon.
Yeah, so I just I was multitasking. I just shared a link to that shoot, and I didn't talk about what it is. So now we've got this ugly link getting posted out there. But that's okay. So you guys, whether even if you're not in nonprofit or government services or whatevs, catch this 30-minute talk. I will tell you, you'll walk away with some tools and some that's going to support you. Okay. So this is a good time for us to now dig in. I have so much to say about the talk we're talking about. Hey, Tish, thank you. Tish says, I love the Minions mug.
Oh, Tish, I don't know if you got to see my talk where I hijacked Susan last week, but
cute.
I collect mugs. That's the thing that I do when I travel. And so this is a Universal Studios mug, and I'm very particular about my coffee mugs, about the shape of the handle and the size. And so I'm always looking for the perfect mug.
I am just typing here. What is the difference between management and leadership? Oop,
well,
question mark.
From my perspective, management usually is a formal role supported by the organization, right? Where you are expected to navigate and manage budgets and teams and other things. Now, there's a component of needing to be a leader, but you don't necessarily have effective leadership skills to be a manager, right? A lot of people move into management having been in an individual contributor role.
Yep.
Without some leadership backup, right? Without some formal leadership training. Some of us go to school to learn about leadership, and some of us go to school for trades or accounting or other specific industry skills. And then we move into leadership because we're very effective in our individual contributor role. So when we move into leadership, we have to learn some new skills, and we have to step away from those individual contributor roles when we move into that formal management role.
All right, I'm going to break this down.
Go ahead.
I'm going to break it down more simple for everybody. Because you know what, Kristine, you're too smart. No, I'm just playing. I'm going to break this down. So what we're saying is, I know you guys who have jobs before you started your business. We've all seen it. Joe, your colleague, gets promoted to manager, but he has zero management training going into that. And Joe is still actually in the mindset of being at that same employee level. And then is tasked to manage people, doesn't have the tools. Okay. It's hard, right, for everybody, because you see that coming out. Some companies actually do develop their people, which is great and important, giving them the tools. Hey, this is what it's like when you're a manager. Here's some tools for you. Leadership. I should just start over. I have to remind you guys, I'm dealing with this back injury. So this is actually the first time I'm doing like a meeting sitting all the way up in over 2 weeks. And I'm loaded up with a bunch of drugs. So forgive me. Most people are like, ooh, lucky you got drugs. No, I hate them. It's terrible. Okay. So the difference to me in management versus leadership is, like you said, management is about directing traffic, ensuring policies and procedures in place and are being met, um, allocating some resources, whether it's people or whatnot. Leadership is an entirely different beast. Leadership is about having a big picture view of vision and where the company's going, and having a seat at the table driving that. So it's not a reactive situation, right? Management is more reactive. Leadership is more visionary and proactive. What I would like to see is all managers also being developed on that leadership front.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing in a lot of small businesses. A lot of small businesses are like, oh my God, I can't handle this work anymore. I'm going to put so and so in charge of XYZ. You're setting everybody up for failure if you don't then circle back and support that employee both with management training and leadership development. You got to do both if you actually want that to work out for you.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't say that that's unique to small businesses.
Yeah.
I have been in large organizations where managers are really just in the trenches in the day-to-day, and there's zero future focus. There's zero visionary work. And without vision and strategy, there can't be accountability to growth.
No, I like that.
Right? Like, we have to hold people accountable to growing, or we all sort of wither and die in our non-growing organizations, right? So growth requires strategy because we have to be future focused.
And that needs to be, I mean, I know you said this, I'm just reiterating. Oh, iterating. Because if you say reiterate, it's a double. Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, it's so annoying. But we're so used to saying just reiterate. So whatever. It's also really important to involve all of your employees in that vision, not just your managers and leaders, all of them, because that is something that's going to tie you together, help motivate people when they understand even your least expensive role. I don't know what to call it. It's not low level because we all have to start somewhere. But making sure that your vision as part of the culture, your vision of where the company is going, is actually communicated and understood and aligned with everybody. Because I'm at the stage where I don't have actual employees, but I have great vendor partnerships. Guess what? I let them know what's going on for Profit Logics. I let my service vendors, for all I know, they're like, okay, whatever, Suz. But I involve them because I want them to know, all right, this is what we're doing right now, but guess what? This is where we're going. And I need you to be a partner of that future vision too. Not just now. I expect everyone to come in at like an executive leadership type of mentality, even if they're a service vendor. But it's my job to make sure that I share that information, get them aligned, to have them understand where we're going and why we're doing maybe some of the stuff we're doing now versus later, all that good stuff. Because then they can be the best at their job, same as employees.
Sure. And one of the other things that I have run into just in the last few weeks is people have said, well, what industry do you do leadership training in? What industry do you focus leadership training in? And I think, well, leadership skills are universal, right? Leadership strategy is universal. Management requires those technical understanding of industry, right? So when we're looking at those things, when I talk about leadership skills development, we're going above your tactical day-to-day work efforts.
Yep. So soft skills. Those soft skills are everything, you guys. And again, this is the rough spot. So micro businesses, family businesses, businesses starting out, businesses in the first 2-3 years. I know your capacity is running thin, man. You're doing everything you can just to get that business afloat, just to make some freaking money. And I know I've been there, and I've helped so many businesses through this terrible stage where you know in your head that you could be doing more on this vision, leadership, management front to support where you're going. And you just are not finding the time, the energy, being able to prioritize that. I understand if you want to talk it out. I do offer, a quick strategy call for people. I don't sell on these calls. It's about me pouring into you, letting you walk away with some actionable advice. But listen, if you can find a little bit of capacity to start doing some of this work now, you had a real good chance of beating the statistics of 90+% of small businesses failing in the first 5 years.
Well, and Suze, I would go even further to say that making that practice habit early will serve your business incredibly well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like if you forget to make that a part of your business, it becomes harder in 5 years or in 10 years to go, wait, how am I going to carve out that time now?
Oh man, at
right?
the 2-year point, I've seen it's like a breaking point and the wheels fall off your business. It's like for me, I keep seeing it. Those wheels start rattling on the business at like the 2-year point, and you're going really fast in your business and you're like, okay, it's make it or break it. And it breaks.
Right, because it's like not doing maintenance on your car.
Yes,
you gotta do the maintenance, man.
Yeah,
you gotta.
Absolutely. All right, where are we at for time? Wow, this has been great.
Going fast.
I know it always does. I'll tell you what, I kind of never want to go live alone again. It's so much more fun when I have people on with me and we can dig into this stuff. And I think people watching enjoy it more too, because no one just wants to listen to the Suz all day.
Well, I think you just get to bounce ideas back and forth a little differently, right? And then I think there's a lot more value to people if they watch it later on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Nina Ross is contributing. She just went live with us. So you guys, if you didn't catch that show, go check it out. It's either on YouTube, LinkedIn, or all of my different Facebook things. You can go watch it. Do hashtag replay. It was a great show. We talked about a lot of like really important small business stuff. So Nina says, if everyone knows the company's goals and objectives, all employees can align with the company's mission. Heck yeah. I mean, that's the stuff I talk about from day one. And that's why I talk about building a strong foundation. That is what I'm talking about. The foundation means all of those 5 pieces. Remember, the 5 missing pieces is my framework. I'll do it real quick. Who out there knows what they are? Comment if you know what they are already. The first one is, who are we? What do we do? Where are we going? How do we get there? Are we on track? Okay. Those 5 missing pieces are everything you need to build that strong foundation. And looped in there is this leadership stuff and management stuff. I think I said leadership. That's funny.
You did, but we all step in that too, right?
Yeah, because don't be stepping in the leadership, guys.
It's difficult. It is difficult because people bring in thousands of their own experiences with them. And so it can work one day.
What they're going through and their own actual personality traits are at play. So if you are not looking at this in a proactive way and building into the growth of your company, how you are going to create an environment where you get the most out of your people, those wheels are going to fall off eventually. I mean, really, this isn't a scare tactic. This is, hey, this is actually important stuff. Kristine and I have been around enough these small businesses. We've seen it a zillion times. Don't let the wheels fall off. Do the maintenance in advance if you can. All right. Oh, we got hashtag leadership from Tish. Thank you. I know.
Thanks, Tish. I will say some of this stuff that we talk about with bringing in employees, having conversations about strategy.
Yeah.
That was not the norm 50 years ago, right? The industrial age was we have the thinkers and then we have the workers, right? And the workers just do what the thinkers tell them to do. That is not the workplace we are in today. That is not who we are today. No. We are a knowledge-based workforce. You have to let people contribute and build that foundation and be a part of the strategy with you. It is really important.
Yeah. And, it's interesting. Let's say you're just a solopreneur and it's all just you still. This goes to you too. This goes for you too. Understanding what are your strengths? What are your personality traits? How does your typology, whether you do Myers-Briggs, whether you do DISC, whether you do any of these different evaluation to understand yourself better, then leveraging those best parts of yourself and making sure that's where the most majority of your time is spent in your business. So let's pretend you don't even have employees. Even just you, this stuff is important because those areas that aren't strengths, yes, you still have to DIY them for a while as you're bootstrapping that business. Those things are what you hold aside and say, as soon as the company is stable, as soon as we have resources, that's the shit you delegate. That's the shit you outsource. Okay. And I understand sometimes you can't in the beginning. In the beginning, you just got to do it all, do all of the things. But you need to understand your own tendencies, your own strengths, your own traits, and identify what are those things that are really my weakness. And then you ask yourself, is this something that can be developed in me? Is developing this trait in me going to be a positive ROI? Do I have the time and capacity to change or develop this in me? And guess what? If you're being really honest with yourself, traits often, tasks and skills can be developed quite easily, right? You can learn a task or a skill. Traits, it's tougher.
Well, and you do really have to ask yourself, is it worth my time, my effort to do that development, to contort? How much will it fatigue me to be operating outside of my strengths on a regular basis? Or can I delegate the things that make sense that are not your skill set, right? You talked with Arana about that. She's your yin to your yang, right? The creative side to your process side. And that's powerful to just go, I don't have to know it all.
Yep. And I still want to. I tend to want to anyway. But, you know, something I wanted to add, I think it left me, is it was about this, dang, I lost it out of my head. Okay, yeah, opportunity cost. Sorry, guys, I'm on a lot of drugs for my back injury. Do not lose sight of the opportunity cost that it will take you to do this contorting, this developing of yourself and of staff members or team members working outside of their strengths. There's a massive opportunity cost, which means what revenue and what business growth could I be having if I weren't pouring my energy into something that's not my strength? There's an opportunity cost there of, you know, the path not chosen. And you have to consider that as you're growing your business and make smart decisions about when to delegate, what to delegate, who to delegate to, and to tie this whole conversation together. When you do make that decision, whether it's hiring employees or hiring service partners, sharing the vision and doing that leadership work with them too, you know, as part of the team so they understand where you're going and they'll be more motivated. They're going to be more invested and they're going to be excited to partner with you.
Well, and retention within companies is much higher when they invest in their people. It is a highly ranked desire among millennials and Gen Zs to have opportunities for future development. And if those things are not in place, they will leave.
Yeah, totally different work. But wow, we could spend a whole hour on this too. Such great discussions. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Dr. Kristine.
Yep. And if you guys are stepping in some leadership, join a boot camp, join an e-course, come check out some work that we're doing over with Shattered Glass Leadership.
Yes. And your website is?
shatteredglassleaders.com. It's there on the bottom of the screen scrolling with us.
I'm going to put it in the comments.
We have a boot camp starting Monday. We have the chat on LinkedIn tomorrow. And our e-course will launch within the next few days. And that's Tactical Leadership for Today. That is a really good course. If you are new to doing teams, if you are new to management, if you are running a new business or jumping into a new role within a business. That is going to be an excellent course for you to get some tactical leadership approaches.
Hey, you guys, I signed up for the boot camp. The first one is actually next week, and I think there's still some spots available. I signed up for it, even though I actually did Dr. K's in-person retreat on some similar topics, because the last day of the retreat I had a migraine and I wasn't really able to focus, and there was so much good information. And remember, I've been doing this for 25 years. I felt like the material that was in Kristine's stuff was so good that I want to refresh it and refill like what I may have missed with that migraine. So I'm signing up for the boot camp. Come join it with me. It'll be fun, but you're also going to be like, wow, this makes so much sense. Wow, I can't wait to implement this in my business. Like, it's amazing. And in your life, like, there was some really good stuff. Really good
there
stuff.
Are some aha moments. Everybody goes, oh, that's why my spouse drives me so crazy.
It's freaking excellent. All right, so we're going to wind up. You guys, thank you so much. Dr. Kristine with Shattered Class Leadership, thank you so much. This is Suz with Profit Logics. We're here to help you guys if you need help. We have a free, quick advice, actionable advice call. I don't sell on it. So if you're stuck, you need a little help, book me. It's on my website. Go to the shop, profitlogics.com. And if you need a community with more kick-ass people like my guest today, Dr. K, Nina Ross from the earlier show, we had a whole great community in our Facebook group, Happy Businessing. So go check that out. Join our family, and we all support each other. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much, and happy businessing.
We'll see you next time.